Mark White is staring at a radar scope inside an AWACS. No canopy, no stick, no trigger, just symbols drifting across a screen, 200 miles from where people actually die. Two blue dots, Rico and Mole, F-15s. One red dot sliding in from their left, 16 miles. Rico and Mole keep flying straight. No turn, no check, nothing that says they've seen it. White's hand goes toward the mic, then stops. He handed them off 2 minutes ago. Different controller now, different frequency. The book says you don't jump back in. You don't clutter the air. You don't distract pilots who are already in the middle of something. 15 miles. Still nothing from the Eagles. 14 miles. That red dot is close enough for an R-27 shot. White knows exactly what that means at this closure rate. His finger hovers. One call could snap their heads left and save them. One call could also shove them into the wrong turn at the wrong time. Friendly aircraft nearby. Missiles already in play. A split-second mistake that doesn't get taken back. He's got about 12 seconds to choose. Stay quiet and follow protocol, or break in and risk being the reason it goes sideways. Hold that moment. Now rewind to the part where 3 different crews all start making choices they can't undo.
January 19th, 1991. Morning over Iraq.
Desert Storm is only 3 days old, and the air war doesn't pause. Captain Cesar Rodriguez, callsign Rico, is in an F-15C Eagle. Craig Underhill, Mole, is 2 miles off his right wing. They're not there to drop bombs. They're there to keep other people alive. Behind them, a strike package, 36 aircraft, pushes toward Baghdad, mostly F-16s, each one hauling 2,000-pound bombs. The targets are ammunition depots south of the city. Hit them, and you choke the supply lines. Miss, and you still have to fly home through the same air defenses. From Rico's canopy, he can see the Vipers below rolling in one by one. Dive, release, pull hard. Chaff and flares bloom on the way out. Standard, automatic, almost muscle memory when you're expecting missiles. Then the desert starts punching back. Explosions ripple across the ground. Secondary detonations stack on top of the first blasts. Whatever's stored down there, it's not small. That's when the radio cuts in. Calm voice, sharp message. Mark White on the AWACS. Rico, you have 2 hostile contacts. He feeds Rico bearings and ranges. 2 tracks closing. Not the old stuff, not MiG-29s. MiG-29's Fulcrums. 4th gen, modern, fast, dangerous. Iraq's best. The jets they've been trying to keep intact for the right moment. Rico doesn't hesitate. Roger, we'll take the 040. He turns into the closer threat. The Eagle's radar sweeps, searching, then catches. A dot snaps onto Rico's scope. A heartbeat later, Rico's radar warning receiver lights up. One word that matters. 29. The Fulcrum is painting him too. Mole confirms it. I see it. Now it's 2 F-15s and 2 MiG-29s, closing fast enough that every mile disappears in seconds. Rico selects an AIM-7 Sparrow. Semi-active, needs a steady radar lock to guide. He's ready to shoot. The MiGs don't give him a clean line. They never fly straight at him. The Fulcrums pitch down, hard, diving toward the desert. On Rico's radar, one fuzzy return splits into 2 clean targets. 2 versus 2. He locks the lead MiG. In the Iraqi cockpit, the lock tone starts screaming. The Iraqi doesn't panic. He slices sideways, pure perpendicular to Rico's nose. The warning in his headset dies. Rico's finger is on the pickle button when the MiG drops off his scope. Gone. I lost it. It's a known problem in the F-15's radar geometry. A target sliding across your nose can fall into a notch, a blind spot. The Fulcrum pilots know it. They're not improvising. They're working a plan. The contact pops back up. Rico locks again. He still doesn't fire. An AIM-7 isn't a fire-and-forget missile. He has to hold that lock the whole way in. If the MiG slips into the blind spot again before impact, the shot is wasted. And a wasted shot here isn't just embarrassment. It's time, it's position, it's options disappearing. So Rico waits for the right second. The MiG slides sideways again. Lock breaks. Contact. Lost. Contact. Lost. Over and over, like they're pulling him by a string. Mole says it out loud. They're dragging us. Rico checks where they've drifted. 2 minutes of chasing. North, closer to Baghdad. Ahead on the nav display, S-125 Neva batteries, a belt of surface-to-air missiles around the city. This isn't the Fulcrums running. This is them leading 2 Eagles into the teeth of the air defenses. Mole's voice tightens. They're dragging us into the city's anti-air. Rico glances at fuel, then the strike frequency. The F-16s are still working. Bombs are coming off rails. They're not clear yet. If Rico and Mole turn away now, the Fulcrums can break off and hit the strike jets on the way out. So Rico makes the call. Hold position. Keep pushing the bandits away until the strikes are done. Then we get out. They press in. Rico's RWR starts clicking. Search radars sweeping, then tightening, then sweeping again. Each click is another system reaching for them. Up in the AWACS, Mark White sees the same fight from 200 miles away. He's already handed Rico and Mole to the next controller, standard sector handoff. His job is technically finished. He keeps looking anyway. A new contact appears, a third MiG-29. Not in front of the Eagles, off to their left. And the MiG's radar is cold, no emissions, nothing for the F-15's warning gear to hear. 18 miles out. Rico and Mole don't react. Their noses are still pointed at the 2 Fulcrums playing games up front. 16 miles. The third MiG keeps sliding closer. 14 miles. White isn't supposed to be watching this anymore. Another controller owns the picture now. Another frequency. Another sector. He keeps his eyes on it anyway. 14 miles. The third Fulcrum keeps sliding in from the left, quiet as a stone. No radar emissions. No warning tone in the Eagle's cockpits. White runs the outcomes in his head, fast, mechanical. If that MiG fires an R-27 from here, Rico and Mole might not even know what killed them until the last second. The part that freezes him isn't the fear. It's the rule. You don't step on another controller's call. You don't throw extra words into a fight. You don't make 2 pilots split their attention at the exact moment their choices are already narrowing. He watches the blue dots, straight and steady. The red dot, closing. Training says, stay quiet. You could make it worse. Common sense says, if you stay quiet, they might not get a second chance. White makes his decision. He keys the radio. Pop-up contacts. 330 degrees for 13 miles. Rico hears it and doesn't waste time sorting out who it is or why it's coming through. Left side, new threat, close. He drops his external tanks. They fall away clean. He hauls the Eagle into a hard turn, vertical bank, vapor peeling off the wings as the jet pulls about 9 Gs. As his nose swings, the contact snaps onto his radar. Bogey, 8 miles. 8 miles isn't a long-range intercept. It's already in the room with you. The Iraqi pilot has been coming in with his radar off, staying invisible as long as he can. Then his ground controller calls him in. You're in range. He flips his radar on. In Rico's cockpit, the warning tone erupts. 29. Hard spike. A lock. The other guy can shoot. Rico still can't. Rules of engagement: inside 10 miles, you don't fire until somebody confirms what you're looking at. Friendly aircraft don't always advertise themselves, and in this airspace, I'm pretty sure isn't good enough. Rico gets one job done first. Stay alive. Mole, run IFF. Mole locks the track and starts the identification. It takes seconds, seconds that feel expensive when the lock tone never stops. Rico rolls inverted and dives. He dumps chaff, a cloud of metallic strips meant to muddy the enemy radar picture. I'm getting low. Terrain will help break the lock. 30,000 feet. The tone is still there. 20,000. Still there. 10,000. The desert is rushing up like a wall. Then Mole's voice cuts in. Clear. You're clear to engage. Mole already has the geometry. Fox 1. The AIM-7 Sparrow lights and streaks forward. Rico catches the smoke trail in his peripheral vision as he pulls through the dive. For a beat, the missile seems to hang between them. Then it reaches the Fulcrum first. Impact at the nose. A flash, then black smoke, then pieces tumbling away. No clean fireball, just an aircraft coming apart in midair. Splash 1. Rico yanks the Eagle out of the dive, G's crushing him into the seat. He levels off barely a few hundred feet above the sand, breathing hard, hands steady by force. Up in the AWACS, White is still watching, and the picture is still moving. Second group, north, 10 miles.
Rico scans instinctively. For half a second, the simplest move is to turn away. The strike package is already egressing. Bombs are off. The job is technically done. 10 miles kills that idea. If they turn their backs now, they give somebody a clean shot from behind. Rico banks north. The contact sits just outside 10 miles, right on the edge of where the rules change. He still needs an ID before he can shoot. Mole, IFF. Mole runs it. Then his voice drops. He lights up as a diamond on my scope. Rico doesn't answer right away. Say again? Diamond. Friendly. A diamond means the system thinks it's an ally. For a moment, the cockpit goes quiet. Not because they're calm, because neither of them can make it fit. There shouldn't be friendlies right here. Not this close. Not in this lane. Mole asks the question he has to ask. What do we do? If they shoot wrong, it's unforgivable. If they hesitate wrong, they might not make it home. Rico trusts his gut over the symbol. I'll identify. You get ready to shoot if I call hostile. He pushes full power. 2 jets closing head-on at supersonic speed, the kind of closure that turns a few miles into right now. Rico stays low and lets the other aircraft come down toward him from above. Then he pulls up into its path, trying to get the silhouette against the sky. At that range, details are everything, and the sky washes details out. 100 feet. 50. They pass so close, Rico can feel the violence of the air between them. He rolls hard and looks back through the canopy. Green camouflage, an Iraqi flag on the fuselage. It's a MiG-29. The plan changes instantly. No neat missile shot, no clean separation. The geometry collapses into a turning fight. Rico rolls inverted and pulls until the Eagle shudders near its limit. The G's hit like a weight stack. The Fulcrum flashes across his nose. Rico drags the jet around to follow. The Iraqi pilot doesn't run. He turns back into it. Now they're spiraling down toward the sand. 2 fighters trading altitude for angles, getting lower every second. 2,000 feet. 1,000. They merge again, close enough to see rivets and paint. Rico can feel the Eagle holding energy better, turning tighter, giving him the fraction he needs. The Fulcrum slides into his sight picture. He selects an AIM-9 Sidewinder, short range, heat seeker, high probability, if he can keep the nose where it needs to be. The Iraqi sees the problem. He rolls inverted and pulls toward the ground, harder, lower, trying to break the shot by sheer aggression. Rico doesn't follow him down. He can't, not at that altitude, not at that speed. He breaks up and left, keeping his own jet flyable. Below, the Fulcrum is still pulling, afterburners lit, stick back, trying to make the math work. 600 miles an hour, a couple hundred feet of air, a pull that's too late by a heartbeat. The MiG-29 hits the desert at full speed. No ejection, no shoot. Just impact and smoke. Rico's heart is hammering so hard he can feel it in his throat.
The kind of adrenaline that makes your hands feel a half inch above the controls, even when you're gripping them. He pulls up and levels off around 2,000 feet, forcing his breathing back into something usable. Below, a column of black smoke climbs out of the sand. Rico doesn't circle, doesn't need the extra look. 2 miles off his right, Mole slides back into position. Tactical, right side. Formation restored. Both eagles still there. That fact lands a second late, like his brain is catching up to what almost happened. Rico keys the radio. His voice stays steady, but there's an edge under it. Let's go home. They turn west, back toward friendly airspace. Behind them, the strike package is already 50 miles out, heading for base. The F-16s got their bombs on target. No losses. Mission complete. Rico isn't thinking about the mission. He's replaying the last few minutes like it's stuck on a loop. 3 MiG-29s, 1 ambush that almost worked, 2 visual identifications inside knife fight range, and 1 Iraqi pilot who pulled too hard, too low, and didn't get the nose up in time. Rico doesn't know his name, doesn't know his age, doesn't know if anyone's waiting for him back on the ground. He only knows the pilot was good, knew his aircraft, knew the tactics, stayed in the fight all the way down. That's what makes it hard to shake. Not respect as a slogan, just the plain reality that skill and courage don't always buy you another second. Back in the AWACS, Mark White logs the engagement. 3 MiG-29s engaged, 1 destroyed by missile, 1 crashed during evasive maneuver. His sector goes quiet again. No cheering, no canopy to fog, just a screen returning to routine. He won't get a medal for what he did. He probably won't even get a mention. The official write-up will credit Rodriguez and Underhill for defeating 3 Fulcrums near Baghdad. It won't talk about the 14-mile moment. It won't talk about the hand hovering over a transmit button after a handoff was already done. Because in the debrief, nobody's really built to ask about the voice that wasn't supposed to speak. And yet, if those 7 words don't come through at exactly the right second, Rico and Mole don't get the chance to dive, to turn, to live. They're just 2 blue dots that go gray on someone's scope. Rodriguez would finish Desert Storm with 3 confirmed MiG kills, tied for the most aerial victories by an American pilot since Vietnam. That's what the record shows. What the record can't show is the feeling of a MiG-29 locked onto you while you're diving toward the desert at the speed of sound, waiting on permission to defend yourself. Or the moment an IFF symbol tells you friendly when everything in your body says it's wrong, and the only way to prove it is to fly straight at the contact and look it in the face. Technology gave them eyes in the sky, weapons that can kill from miles away, radar that can see through weather and darkness. But that morning over Iraq, the hardest choice wasn't what to shoot, it was when to speak. Mark White had about 12 seconds. He broke protocol. 2 men lived, and the Iraqi pilot who never ejected, whatever his story was, ended there in the sand. Not because he lacked skill, but because the margin was that thin. If you're watching this and you've ever wondered what actually decides modern air combat, here's one question that doesn't have an easy answer. When you're the one with the bigger picture, when you're the voice on the edge of the fight, how do you know the exact moment to break in? Thanks for listening. If you want more stories like this, where war turns on decisions made in seconds, sometimes far from the cockpit, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.